Hello everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my speaking skills series. We're on speaking skills class number 18. Today is the 9th of July, and we're going to be probably finishing up our unit that we've been doing on describing photos and relating them to themes. It's a good skill for exams, for example, the international Cambridge tests, like the Business English Certificate, the TOEFL, etc. But it's also a good skill just to practice your English in general, because you never know what to expect, and this gives you a kind of strategy to follow. More about that in just a minute. First, a little bit about me. I'm Jon-Eric'c, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. Here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up, which means turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom quiet. Tune in to the new words that you're learning when you are speaking so that I can correct you and give you feedback. And finally, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And that is a little bit about me. I want to know a little bit about you. So let's say hello to Ebby. Hello, Ebby. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. And you?
I'm all right. Have we met before? I don't think so.
Yes, this is the first class with you.
First class. Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Saudi Arabia.
From Saudi Arabia. Okay.
Yeah.
Your voice sounds familiar. That's why I was asking. But maybe I'm...
Actually, I'm not sure. I can't remember. So maybe it is the first or the second class.
Okay.
I can't really remember, yeah.
I don't recognize the picture, but I recognize your voice. I'm trying to
Okay.
see the picture. I can't see the picture. What is that a picture of?
It is a picture of Mecca. It is a city here in Saudi Arabia.
It's a very famous city.
Yes.
I can't see it very well. Okay, very good. Well, we're going to be working on describing pictures. I'm going to try to give you a few strategies that you can use to describe pictures, which are really strategies for producing English, not just to be able to describe pictures, but be able to speak fluently about something you're not expecting. So
Okay.
we'll see a bit about that in just a minute. Welcome back, Jason. Nice to see you. And Morris. Long time no see. Morris, how are you? Good? Morris, I can't hear you. I don't hear you, Morris. When you get your microphone working, say something. Jason, are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Okay, good. I can hear you. All right, so look, here's what we're going to do. In the course material, I gave you a link to our notes. And, oh, for some reason, I don't know if I can open it. Uh-oh. Give me a second here. I want to give you the link in the chat window as well. Let me do it in a different way. I have it here. Okay. So I'm going to give you the link in the chat window so you have it. You can open it if you don't have it open. Give me just a second to get my chat window working. Okay, so now if you take a look, there you go. Sorry, Morris, I just saw your message. No, I can't hear you at all. So if you need to, leave the class and re-enter, and sometimes that fixes everything. Okay? So sometimes it's the Hangout that's the problem. All right? Okay, I see you now. And if you need the link in the group chat, I just put it there as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to take a look at the picture and look at our strategy. And then I'm going to give you a chance to try it. Let me share my screen here. Okay. And actually, it's probably better that I download this. So give me a second. Let me see if I can just quickly download. I don't know if it's gonna be too big. It might be. Hold on just a second here. No, it might not let me download it. Let me try again. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, let me do this. Let me open the PDF because it's going to be too confusing if I don't see your faces. When I share my screen, I can't see you. So give me just a second to get that open, and I'll put it back on screen. 1 second, please. Okay. And Mars, is your microphone working now?
I'm trying.
Sounds
Can
okay
you hear
to
me
me?
now?
Yep, sounds good.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
All right. So, okay, everyone, and also welcome Giuseppe and Yuki. Nice to see you. Okay, I've got my document working. So look, when you open that link, you'll see our speaking skills graphic, so you know you're in the right place. If you want to open it on your computer, click on the link and you'll see this. And on the second page, I can't make it very big here. On the second page, you've got my contact, and you've got all the classes we've done. If you click on class 18, it'll take you down past these tools, which we'll look at in a second, to page, it's 5 on my screen, 5 and 6. And I've given you a set of pictures. I can't show them to you all at the same time on my computer, but I'll quickly run through them. So you can see the first two on top, on the next page, the next two, and on the next page, the last two. Or last one, sorry. Okay, so it's probably easier to see this on your computer if you open my document. Okay, but I'm going to share my screen so we can take a look at these. And what we're going to do is start with our, this class is going to be a little different because you're going to be collaborating when you talk about the photos. First, let's just review what we've done so far. I have a technique here called How to Describe a Photo or a Picture that we've been working on. And I've given you 4 steps that you can use when you don't know what to say. It gives you a kind of strategy. Say what you see, guess or speculate about why you're being shown it. So here's where you can start to connect it to the theme of the photo. Compare and contrast the photos, or compare and contrast the theme to something in your life that you're familiar with. And then finally, offer a personal preference, if it's possible. I might add to that, you can also offer a personal opinion. It doesn't have to be choosing one thing over another. It could also just be reaching a conclusion, a personal opinion about a situation. So those are our 4 steps, and I've already put some language there that you can use. So let me give you a quick example. Let's do this. In another class, let me see if I can find a quick example for you here. This is from another class, but just to quickly give you an example, here's a photo that we've been doing in our business class, and I'm going to go through the 4 steps just to give you a quick example of what I mean. Okay? So, I'm going to go through it step by step. Say what you see. Well, there appears to be a kind of a bench or a table outside in a very organized, planned, designed space. Lots of right angles and straight lines. And it's very uncluttered. So it's a very pleasing image and seems like a place where you might go to relax or to meditate. Okay, that was say what you see. Notice I could use these key expressions. There appears to be a table. It's most likely a place you go to relax. In step 2, I guess or speculate about why. Well, I can see that the theme is motivation, so I suppose what this picture is showing us is that if we're in a place, or it doesn't even have to be a real place, if we can unclutter our perspective so we can see all the way to the horizon, then I guess that's one way to stay motivated. Because if you've got a cluttered up landscape, if you don't really know where you are and where you're going, it really stresses you out. So one way to be motivated is to be not stressed. And one way to be not stressed is to have everything in its proper place. And this picture shows you balance. Okay? So that's step 2. Step 3 is compare and contrast to something you're familiar with. Well, this I would say this reminds me a bit of places that I've been to, but not places where I've lived. In New York, you don't get to see places like this unless you're on the penthouse. And most people don't have a very good view. So I think that kind of adds to the claustrophobic feeling that some people get. They get overwhelmed and stressed. You get used to it, though. So step 4, if I'm going to offer a personal preference, I might say, well, I think we'd all prefer to be in a space like this where we can really have time and space to think, because this seems to be a timeless location. So I definitely prefer to be here than being in a cluttered apartment in a big city, because this seems much more relaxing. And that's it. That's an example of how you can use those 4 steps to describe a picture. So now, keeping that in mind, what we're going to do is move on to the new pictures today. Okay? So what we're going to do is, oh, we lost Morris again. I hope you come back, Morris. So what we're going to do is, maybe we've got 2 sets of pictures. Maybe we can go around and look at 2 at a time. And in the second part, we're going to collaborate with each other. So I want you to go through the 4 steps as best you can. If you need to, just flip back to the previous page, page 4, to help you use the key expressions. Okay, so we're going to start by describing. Then we're going to go into the second part of the task, which is collaborating with each other. And I'll give you some instructions there, okay? So, here we go. Why don't we start, how are we going to do this? I guess it's better to go, yeah, let's try it like this. Let's go around the room once, okay? And maybe we can talk about just one picture at a time first, just to practice saying what you see. And if you need help, I've got another strategy to help you, okay? So Yuki, I'd like you to take the picture on the left and stick mostly to that. Jason, you're going to take the picture on the right. Okay, then Giuseppe, you're going to take the next picture on the left on the next page for me. And Ebby, you're going to take the picture on the right. And we'll see how we are at that point. And Yuki, you disappeared. Okay, Yuki looks like he's having connection problems. So, Jason, let's start with you with the picture. We'll start with you with the picture on the left and see if Yuki comes back, okay? Oops. 1 second. There we go.
It seems to be a woman who's singing.
I can barely hear you. You've got to get closer to the microphone.
Yeah, it seems to be a woman who is singing in front of an audience. I imagine it's a contest that we can call karaoke. The aim of the contest is to get a prize, maybe.
Okay, that's good enough for step 1. You've actually done step 1 and step 2. Sounds pretty good. By the way, I would just change one thing. I would just say that it seems to be a karaoke contest because everyone knows what karaoke is, right? Perhaps she's singing to win a prize because she seems to be really... Here's what I want you to do, Jason. If you're not sure what to say, I've got a second strategy for you, but it's a very simple one. What are the question words in English, Jason?
Question word?
Yeah, question words. Just say them for me. What are the question words in English?
Who? What?
Who? What?
How?
Yep. How?
Why?
Why?
Where?
Where? What
Whose?
about whose? Okay. What about time?
When?
Ask when? Okay. So there's basically 6 that you need to know. A simple strategy if you're looking for things to say, is to go through the question words in your mind. So if you're in step 1 here, say what you see. What you did was fine, by the way. But sometimes in these international tests, you're given a time limit and you're done speaking and you still have 30 seconds left. So what do? You start going through who, what, where, when, how, why, etc. And in your mind, ask the question, and out loud, say the answer. Okay? So, for example, you said a lot already. You said a lot already. But what I want you to do is maybe ask yourself 3 questions, or 2 or 3 questions more, and then just say the answer out loud. We'll see if we can figure out what questions you asked. Okay? Do you want me to give you an example, Jason?
We have to ask 3 questions about the picture.
2 or 3 questions. Ask it to yourself, okay? But just say the answer out loud, and we as a group will try to figure out what you were asking. Okay? So in other words, to add details to step 1, to add new details, if you can ask yourself a question about who, or what, or where, or when, you will be able to quickly add new details to your description.
Okay.
All right? So pick 2 or 3 questions to ask to yourself. Actually, why don't you think about it, Jason, and we'll come back to you after Yuki has a shot. So think about it, and then we'll come back to you and hear some new details about picture 1. Okay? I'll give you a minute to think about it. Okay, Jason?
Okay.
Okay. So Yuki, you're going to take the picture on the right. You can stick to step 1 and maybe step 2. That's about it. Because we're just going to start with general descriptions first, and then we'll try to put this together into a new task afterwards. Okay? So,
Okay.
Picture number 2. Say what you see, Yuki.
You mean the picture on the right, yeah? On the left?
That's right.
On the right or
No,
left?
on the right.
Right, okay. Well, it seems to be the...
on the... Yep.
It seems to be a festival or some kind of gathering, meeting, dancing.
Gathering is good.
Gathering. It seems to be some kind of gathering. There, people are dancing, and I see the 2 couples dancing in the street. Publics around them, watching how they are dancing. Some people approached, send approach to them. Yes.
That's good. That's good. That's good enough. Okay. So the description is good. Now the problem here is the verb tenses, Yuki. The details you said are great, but the problem is the verb tenses. So let me give you an example. When you're looking at a picture, you and the person you're speaking to are looking at the same time. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to use the present continuous.
Yes, I used to present continuous.
Yep, you have to, because we're both looking at it at the same time. So you have to talk about it as if it's happening right now. So instead of saying some people approach, you have to say some people are approaching them, are approaching. I see two couples dancing. Now, the reason you say I see and not I am seeing is because see is a verb of perception.
Mm-hmm.
And those are an exception. You don't need to say I am seeing, because you see is a passive state. You always see. You can say I am looking because that's a decision you make in your head. But see, hear, etc., you can use those in the present simple. Any verb of perception can be used in the present simple, but all the details you mentioned are in the present continuous. So I would say, I see two couples dancing. Perhaps they're doing an Argentinian tango. I don't know. There appears to be a crowd gathering. Again, appears is like a verb of perception. But now, when you talk about actions, some people are approaching the couple, and it seems that some people are judging them because I see some people sitting down. Maybe they're musicians or maybe they're judges. I can't tell. I see a guitar, so perhaps they're musicians. Maybe they're playing music for them. So just that. Verbs of perception are in the present simple. All the details of the picture, all the actions are in the present continuous. Okay, that's the main thing I would think about. Okay, so we're going to go back to Jason and listen to 2 or 3 more details. Yuki, you're going to do the same thing that Jason did. You're going to ask yourself 2 or 3 questions with who, when, what, where, how, etc. And you're going to add 2 or 3 more new details to your description, just like Jason is going to do. Okay? So let's listen to Jason first. Okay, back to you, Jason.
Okay.
What else can you see in picture number 1?
We can see a woman who is singing. No, we can. The same happens. The same take place in the stage.
Okay.
The woman is singing very loudly.
Very good.
And the woman is singing as part of a karaoke context.
Okay, very good. So 3 details. I'm going to ask the class, what questions do you think he asked himself in that case? And then Jason, you tell us if we guessed right. So based on what Jason just said, what questions do you think he asked himself to get more details? This is to anyone. What do you think, Giuseppe?
What does she feels, for example?
How is she feeling, you mean?
Yeah.
How is she feeling? Okay, so I'll put that up there. How is she feeling? Good. And Giuseppe, why do you think he asked that to himself? What was the answer that you heard connected to that? I mean, more or less, what was he saying that you heard?
If I understand, more or less, probably if I understood, is the she's lonely. She's lonely.
She's loud. You mean?
No, I probably heard lonely.
Oh, lonely. Oh no. I think Jason, you said she was singing loudly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little hard to hear you, Jason. It's a bit hard to hear. Okay. So he said she was singing loudly, and you said something else about her expression. Did you remember?
I'm not quite sure what he said, because apart that he was talking very low.
Yeah, there's also a problem with the Hangout because
there's
a delay today. Yeah, actually, let me re-enter the Hangout. Maybe the problem is me. I don't know. I'll be back in just a second. So hold on, everyone. I'll be right back. Let's see if this is working. Can you hear me? Okay, can everyone hear me now?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
good. All right, so maybe that'll fix the problem. I don't know. Maybe it will. Let me get the images back on screen. Here we go. All right. So I think let's do this, Jason. Tell us the 2 or 3 questions you asked yourself to get those details. What did you ask yourself?
Yeah, I ask myself where the woman singing, where the woman is singing. Secondly, I ask myself how the woman singing, and the third question I ask myself is uh, why she is singing.
There you go. So basically, where, how, and why the woman was singing. Okay? That's it. So it's an easy technique, but it really gives you some new details. And every new detail you get, you can elaborate on. You can expand if you like. All right? So we're going to come back to you in just a second, Yuki, as well. You can ask yourself some additional questions about that picture. We'll come back to you in just a moment. But first, because in the interest of time, we're going to move on to, let's see. We've got Morris, Giuseppe, and Ebby. Okay, so let's have this. Let's have Giuseppe and Ebby because you're next on my screen. Ebby, why don't you take the picture on the left, and Giuseppe, you take the picture on the right. And don't forget, to help you out, you can always flip back to page 4 and 5. In my document, it's on page 4 and 5. And use some of those key expressions. You're going to stick to points 1 and 2. Say what you see, and maybe guess about why you're seeing it. Don't go into the rest yet. It's too much for now. Okay? Ebby, let's start with you with picture number 3 on the right.
Okay. It seems to be a girl sitting on her bed, and she is watching her iPad and listening to some music during the daytime.
She appears to be watching her iPad because we don't know if it's an iPad. We don't know what it is. So,
it looks like an iPod, not an iPad.
Oh, iPod, I see. So,
yeah.
But the important thing is use those speculating expressions like she seems to be, it appears to be, she might be, it might be, just because we don't know exactly what's happening. So it's more clear that you're guessing.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. So she might be using her iPod, listening to some music. And I think this is for step 1. Do you want me to like continue to the other steps, or?
You can go on to step 2 as well if you can think about how this relates to a theme. We haven't talked about what the theme is, but sure, if you have something to say, then go on to step 2 as well.
I suppose that she just came back from work, and she's trying to like pass time by listening to music.
Okay, we have an expression for that. She's trying to unwind. Take a look in the chat window. See it? Unwind.
Yes. Unwind.
That expression is like when you have a spring and it's tightly wound, right? It pops and, whatever, it jumps because it's got all this tension. So that's how you feel when you come home from work. You feel like a spring that's been tightly wound. So listening to music helps you unwind. Does it make sense?
Yes.
All right. So it means relax, basically. Okay, sounds really good. Sounds good. We'll come back to both of you and Yuki in just a second. Giuseppe, what would you say about picture number? She actually did 4. I said 3 earlier. She actually did 4, which is the right one on the right. What about picture 3 on the left, Giuseppe? What can you say about it?
Well, there seems to be a rock band that is trying new music, and I probably. And they probably are in a garage, because I see in the background some stuff like a bicycle and the others.
Other things.
Other things, yes.
Okay, very good. Why don't you see, you can go into step 2 and guess about why you're seeing it, or guess about what's happening. In Ebby's case, she guessed about the reason the woman was listening to music. You could do the same here. Guess about why they're doing it, or guess about why we're looking at it. Both cases would be okay. So go on to step 2.
Okay, I guess they are. I suppose they are trying. They are playing with the music because I can see the guys are equipped with a guitar. Each guy has a guitar, and then they are making some arrangements about the music. They like it.
Okay, good. Here's the main thing I would say, Giuseppe. Again, the details are good, but you're adding unnecessary words. Words sound good in Italian, but they're not necessary in English. You can cut out some of the words. For example, you said, I would say each of them instead of each of the guys. Each of them, so that's one word you can cut out. Each of them seems to have a guitar rather than saying equipped. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the main thing is getting the details across. We cut out a lot of the fancy words, the Latin-based words. We just cut them out. We can say them, but they sound a little strange. So we tend to use simple verbs but good adjectives, or simple verbs but good nouns. So they have guitars. Each of them have guitars rather than they are equipped. And also, whenever you use that, you've got to go through a little trick. Earlier, you said, now I just forgot the sentence you said. The very first thing you said was, after the description of the garage, you said that they are making arrangements with the guitars or something like that. I forgot exactly what you said. I have to rewind the video. I forgot. But what I want to say is, when you want to say that or which, there's a little trick. You can take out the that, take out the which, and turn the next word into a gerund, an ing word. So in the sentence, let me see. It seems that they are making musical arrangements. You could say, it seems they are making, and just cut out the that. And you cut out that and cut out they are. Cut out all of it and just use the verb in the gerund. So it seems they are, well, that's a bad example because I have to think of a better example. There you need the subject, they are. I have to give you more examples of this. I can't think right now. But anyway, the that, we don't need to say it. It slows down the text. What else can I say? I don't know. I can't think of anything else.
Okay.
All right. Okay, let's do one more. By the way, Marcel, if you want to come in, there's plenty of space. Just click join and come into the class. Morris, let's see if your microphone is working. I'm going to give you the very last picture here. So turn on your mic, Morris. Let's see if we can hear you. Hello, Morris. Hello, hello. Does anyone hear Morris? Because I don't hear him.
No.
I don't hear.
Okay. Well, Morris, when you get your microphone working, just let me know, and we'll see what we can do, okay? So, the next part is to work in a collaborative way. So, here's what we want to do with that. Hang on just a second here. I need to turn off the screen sharing for a minute because I have to find my material. 1 second. So, I'm going to do something that they often do in the Cambridge exams. They have a collaborative two-way task. After you've described a photo, you have to comment on what your partner said about the photo. You have to pick up on something and kind of elaborate on it a little bit. So the description is this. You and a partner are given visual prompts, usually a set of pictures on a theme, and asked to collaborate on making a decision or solving a problem. There is no one correct answer, but you are expected to discuss the prompts. That's the first part of the task we did. And work toward a conclusion. That's the second part of the task that we're going to do now. You don't have to agree. At the end, you're asked to report and justify the outcome of your discussion. Now, in the Cambridge exams, the FCE, CAE, Business English Certificate, those kind of exams, you do this and you're just given something like 4 minutes to talk, and they only interrupt you at the very end when they say, okay, so what decision have you reached? Again, you don't have to agree with your partner. You might not have reached a decision. As long as you can explain it and justify it, you're fine. Here's the strategy. When you give an opinion, when you're working with someone else, you give your opinion, you have to pass the ball. Imagine that you're playing basketball. You have to work as a team. So you have to make a suggestion and immediately turn it over to your partner for a comment, and then the partner elaborates, makes a new suggestion, and passes the ball back to you. And that's a good way to show that you can collaboratively use English and that you're really listening. That's what they're testing you on, your ability to listen and to respond. In the first part, they tested you on your output. In the second, it's much more about listening skills. So the strategy is pass the ball. Say something. If you're not sure what to say, go through the questions, who, when, what, where, how, why, pick one or two, and make a comment, and then turn it over to your partner. Let me ask you a question. What are some things you could say to pass the ball to your partner? Let's say it's Giuseppe and Jason talking about the first picture. And Jason says, oh, it seems like she's in a karaoke contest. What could you say to pass the ball to Yuki at that point, Giuseppe? Sorry, Jason. What could you say at that point?
Sorry, I don't understand. What can I say?
Yeah, I want a connector phrase, a connector expression you could use to get Yuki to comment on something you've just said. What could you say to include him in your conversation at that point? You give me an idea, and then I'll tell you if I agree or disagree, or I'll give you some suggestions.
Okay.
But what might you say to include him in the conversation?
How do you describe the woman who is singing?
So in other words, asking him a direct question. You would ask him a direct question.
What do you, Yuki? What do you think about the woman clothes?
Mm-hmm. So you don't have to ask him now. I just wanted to know what you would do to include him. So you're saying, Jason, you would ask him a direct question to get him to comment on the picture. Right? That's the idea. Yeah? Yes?
No.
No? It's a good strategy. It's fine. Asking direct questions is a good idea. So Jason, this is what I would suggest. You make a comment like, well, she appears to be in a karaoke contest. Yuki, how would you describe how she's feeling? Right? I would make a comment first, though. I would say, she seems to be really happy. Yuki, how would you describe how she's feeling? So that would be a good technique. That's good. Asking direct questions. But you've got to make your comment first before you ask the question, so that you're not just putting him on the spot. Is that clear, Jason?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Let me give you one suggestion, by the way. And then we'll let you and Yuki try this, okay? Here's a suggestion. Remember in earlier speaking skills class I gave you TED questions, TED. TED is a little acronym which stands for tell me, describe, or and there you can see it in the chat window. Tell me, describe, or explain. So Jason and Yuki, when you ask each other questions, direct questions, You might want to do it in the form of a TED question. Here's an example. Imagine Jason says, well, she appears to be in a karaoke singing contest. She seems pretty happy about it. Yuki, how would you describe the emotion that she's feeling? How would you describe her? So there, I use describe because that gives him a chance to answer in different ways. It's an open question. Okay, do you see what I mean? About how to use a TED? Okay. So I'm going to put the first set of pictures back on the screen, and then I'm going to give you two a chance. I'm going to give you actually 3 minutes to comment on the pictures and to reach a conclusion using TED questions. That's a great way to do it. Give me just a second to get my material back on the screen here. 1 second here. And actually, hang on just a moment because I need to go to an earlier. I need to give you a set of questions to think about too. I want to show you exactly how this task would work in a real situation. So give me just a second. Yeah, let's take a look at this. I'm going to give you the actual test questions that you might encounter. Can I get my screen working? Yeah, take a look. So here, collaborative task. If you're in a test situation, the interviewer might ask you a question like this. Here are some photos that illustrate ways in which music is part of our lives. Talk to each other about the pleasure people derive from different musical experiences, and then decide which ones you think are the most satisfying. That's your task. At the end, you have to agree about which are the most satisfying after you've discussed different musical experiences. And the pictures are there just to help you think about that answer. All right? So that's an example of what you might be asked. Okay? So remember your task. You got after 3 minutes, you have to decide together which experiences you think are most satisfying for young people. Okay? So we're going to stick with the first two pictures first. Okay? So Jason and Yuki, you've got about 3 minutes to talk about what you see, reach a conclusion, use TED questions to include each other in the conversation. All right? Jason, you begin. You can talk a little bit about the first picture or about both pictures if you like. But remember, after you make a major comment, use a TED question to bring Yuki into the conversation, asking his opinion. Okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. When you're ready, go for it.
On the both picture, we might see people who are performing.
We might see or we do see?
No, we do see people
right.
Performing.
Okay.
And how can you describe how people perform?
How would you describe?
How would you describe the people who are performing on the right picture?
Okay, wait. So Jason, before you ask that question, you have to say your opinion first, then use your question to bring him into the conversation. So you have to make a statement first.
On the right picture, we do see a couple, a woman and a man who are dancing on a music, and there seems to dancing very slowly because the music is slowly. And you, how would you describe the way they are dancing?
Good, very good.
Well, it seems to me that they feel very cheerfully and
they feel very cheerful. They feel very cheerful.
I think they feel very cheerful and merry. And as you said, I also hear the slow music.
You hear music? I don't hear any music.
As if I hear the slow tempo of music.
Ah, as if I hear it. Okay.
As if I hear the music, slow tempo, and what I think with that, it is quite clear that they have childlike excitement at that moment in the streets. And
Okay, good. Yuki, at this moment, you might want to talk about the first picture, make a statement about it, and then try to include Jason in the conversation by asking him a TED question. Okay? What you said was great. By the way, just remember, merrily should be merry, because merrily is an adverb, and you were talking about how they felt. How they feel is an adjective.
merry.
Yeah. Okay.
And in comparison with second picture, first picture, on the first picture, it seems, sorry, maybe it seems to me that a girl feel merely. She also experienced. She also excited.
She is excited, you can say, and you can also say she feels excited. She seems to feel excited. Okay, great. What can you ask?
It seems to me that she's also excited with Mike singing.
Because?
Sing cheerful song.
Because? What is it in the picture that makes you think that?
Because.
Is it her expression? Is it her body language? What is it?
Because her body language tells me that she really likes to sing in karaoke.
Perfect.
What is your view regarding this?
I wouldn't do that. Use a TED. Tell me, explain, or describe. Make it more. Yeah, it's better.
Tell me, what do you see? What do you feel?
Wait a second. Not tell me what do you feel, but could you tell me what? Could you tell me what you think she feels? Right. Not tell me as an aside. Tell me as the main verb in the sentence.
Jason, could you tell me what do you think? How she feel?
What do you think she feels?
What do you think she feel?
Yeah, it's better like that. It sounds good. Now, Jason, you should comment on what he said first, and then give your opinion. You can agree, disagree, or whatever.
Yes. I would say she seems to feel happy and enjoy her performance on the stage.
So I agree with you, Yuki.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, very good. So look, that's just it's a little difficult the first time you do it, but what I'm trying to show you is you're creating a natural sounding conversation in an unnatural situation, and this is how you can do it. Remember the TED questions, because they allow you to bring in a partner and give them a variety of ways to answer. So they're open questions. Don't forget, you should start by saying when you respond, I agree, I disagree, and be specific about why. Oh, I totally agree with you, Yuki. She really seems very happy. She seems to be really into the act of performing. And at that point, you could go on to the other stages, like comparing and contrasting with something you're familiar with. Whenever I've done karaoke, I've been too nervous. I haven't been excited like she has been, or something like that. Okay, very good. I wanted to give Giuseppe and Ebby a chance as well. So, same thing. Ebby, we're going to start with you. Same thing. You're going to make a point. You can talk about either picture or both pictures. You can talk about one or compare them. And hold on a second. I'm getting a message from Marcel. Who is Marcel? Is Marcel? Marcel, you're not in the classroom. I don't see you.
Marcel is writing down.
I know he's writing, but he's not in the classroom. It's Morris is in the classroom. Is that the same person?
He's not in the classroom. He's
Okay.
from outside.
You
Right.
have to come in the classroom. Let's see if. So, click join.
But first, submit a subscription.
Well, if he didn't have a subscription, he wouldn't be able to write in the Verbling chat window. I don't think. I think he
I
has to
think
use.
everyone can write in the chat box without joining the class.
Well, if it's his first time, he can join for free. So he just has to click join, and then put in his details. Okay. Anyway, let's get started. So, Ebby, why don't you begin and then make the point you want to make, and see if you can bring Giuseppe into the conversation to agree or disagree with you, and then Giuseppe, you're going to agree or disagree, elaborate on another detail, and then pass the ball back to Ebby. Okay? Ready?
Okay.
Ready?
So, Ebby, let's start with you.
Okay. So I'll start with the picture on the left. It seems to be that these young guys have this music band, and they are it seems to be that they are playing guitar, and they are very.
They seem to be playing guitar, or they are playing guitar.
Oh, they are playing
Yeah,
guitar.
they are.
Okay.
You could say they seem to be playing good or bad. They seem to be playing well or badly, but they definitely are playing guitar.
Okay. So it seems to be that they are very excited. That's obvious from their fast motion on the picture.
Good.
Okay, and Giuseppe, what do you think about this band?
Well, try to ask it with tell me, explain, or describe, because it gives him more options that way. So
Okay.
you said they seem to be excited because you can see a lot of motion in the picture. They're jumping around, right?
Yes.
So you can ask him about that using a how would you explain or describe, or what could you tell me? You could start the question like that about that point.
Okay, Giuseppe, can you describe their excitement in that picture?
Sounds
Well,
okay.
Well, for me, it seems to me that they are
You can start by agreeing or disagreeing with her about them being excited, right? So that's the first thing you can say. Oh, I totally agree. They're excited. Oh, I don't think they are. I think they're nervous. Whatever. It might be a good way to start. Yeah.
I could say I caught up your point. I mean, they have a rock soul. That's why they are enjoying to do what they are doing. I mean, playing the guitar. And do you feel they are working hard to be a public rock band?
Okay, good. Say that as a statement and then ask her afterwards. So first make a statement and then bring her in with a question. So one more time, Giuseppe. The last point.
Statement.
Yeah, in other words, instead of asking her that question, you give your opinion first and then pass the ball back to her with a question.
I guess they are working very hard on his band.
They're working very hard on their band.
On their band, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because why?
Because they probably look forward to be a public rock band.
Okay, and also because they look like they're really focused, right? In the picture.
Yeah, exactly, and you can see it because they are very excited. They are very happy about that
Okay.
what they are doing.
Perfect. Now you can bring Abby back in the conversation with a question.
So how do you feel? Do you think they are going to be a public rock band, a famous rock band?
Yes,
Good question.
I think that one day they will be very famous, especially that it seems that they are very young, so they must, have schools. So they are working very hard to get what they want.
Yeah, good point, because they're starting young, so that's what you want to do, right? They've still got time and they seem serious. Okay, very good, very good. Listen, everyone, we're going to have to stop at this point because I've got to begin the next class right now. Sounds very good. Keep in mind these strategies. What we're going to try to do in the coming classes in speaking skills is take these strategies as the base and keep building on them in different kinds of activities. We're not going to keep going on with the pictures. That was just one way we can use these. We're going to try to find other situations. If there's something in your life that you have to do, we can use the class as a kind of workshop. So for example, talking about your CV, introducing yourself, making small talk. There'll be different activities we'll do. But we'll try to keep using these strategies to give you practice with them, and that way you can apply them to real life. They help you think a little faster, especially when you have to say something that you're not sure what to say. Helps you generate English quickly, okay? Very good job, everyone. I'll be back in just a minute for the business class, so stick around for that if you like. And the next speaking skills class will be in a week from today. Bye for now, everyone. See you soon.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now. Bye-bye.